Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd day of November 2023. I hope that you're healthy and safe today, and that your family's also healthy and safe, and that the needs of you and your family are being met today in terms of food and shelter, clothing, as well as health. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, be safe out there. Drive safely. Thanksgiving is one of the most traveled holidays of the year. In fact, it's one of the two, the other one being Memorial Day weekend. Be careful out there. Please don't drink and drive. Be careful for yourself and for others who may be drinking and driving. Just be safe and enjoy yourself. Blessings also upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders who are out here every day, even on holidays, trying to save lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and highways and parks and sidewalks clean. And those also that make deliveries even on holidays for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help deliver, rescue, and recover the victims, the teenagers, and the children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography and child pornography. The victims also of prostitution and child prostitution, of human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses upon the perpetrators. Double curses upon the profiteers. Double curses upon those who are the perverts that traffic in this human misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and mostly children living on the streets of the United States right now, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them, because theirs is the kingdom. There's no basketball game scheduled until Friday with the Portland Trailblazers. What I wanted to discuss today, though, is as I feel, an important subject to discuss, an important subject for many in Knicks Nation to understand, and that is the probable trade of Emmanuel Quickley. I feel like Emmanuel Quickley is going to be traded. The question only is when and for what compensation. Now, I want to try to help some of my listeners, some of the viewers, some of my subscribers understand why this is happening. There is a stigma that some people attach to a trade, so that when someone hears a player is likely to be traded, you get the idea that the team is giving up on the player. You get the idea that the player didn't work out. You get the idea that it's a negative thing on the player or a dumb thing on the team's part. But I think, and this is what I'm trying to do today, give a little education as to why and how trades work in the NBA. Let me give you a quick scenario and I'm not just trying to preach to you, but just give you a quick scenario of what happens here. So you're a basketball player. You love basketball. You play basketball. You've played all your life. Okay. You go to college. You happen to get a basketball scholarship to go to college, and you go to college on the basketball scholarship. And while you're there, you develop your basketball ability, so that it's possibility people are approaching you about the possibility that you can be drafted into the NBA. Now, this is very big because the NBA is the 400 or so best basketball players on the planet Earth, period. Okay. So if you were to be drafted, especially if you can be drafted in the first round of the NBA draft, you are guaranteed pretty much, with some exceptions, you're guaranteed 4-year contract that a minimum will pay you $4 million. And depending on how high you get drafted, it can go up to $40 million. And so you can get some money for your family, for yourself, by being drafted in the first round of the NBA. Okay. Now, for most players, I'd say 98% of the players, their families have never seen any kind of money like that. Okay. When you're talking about maybe even $1.5 million a year or $2 million a year, which is a small amount in the NBA, but most families see nothing like that and will never see anything like that in their lifetime. Okay. So that a 1-year salary at $1.5 million after taxes is $750,000 on an NBA pay schedule is $75,000 every month. You'll never see that again, or you've never seen it before. Okay. It's life changing. Now, when it actually happens, and you get drafted in the first round of the NBA and you get the guaranteed contract. So now your thought process is you have to take care of yourself and your family financially. You want to get drafted to a good organization, somebody that's going to treat you well, someone's going to give you opportunities to play more. Why? Number one, if you're a competitive athlete, which all NBA players are, you want to win. You want to win and you want to have a long, successful career, which also means long money. You want to get this, we call it the bag. You want to get this bag as soon as possible for a number of reasons. Number one, you want to take care of your family. Number two, you can get it out the way and you ain't got to worry about money no more. You can focus on your game. So now you get drafted. You get drafted the second half of the first round. You're getting around $2 to $2.5 million a year. You're doing well. You're working very hard. But you know, and your family knows, that there's a lot more money to be made. Every rookie drafted in the first round of the NBA basically has a 4-year tryout. 4 years you have to prove that you belong in the NBA. And not only that, that you can make a contribution to your team. And not only that, but that you're worthy of a second contract. Okay? Enter Emmanuel Quickley. Being drafted in the 25th pick. Okay? He was drafted in the 25th pick of the 2020 draft, I believe it was. So he gets drafted at the end of the first round. He's worked extremely hard to get there. From the area, the Maryland, D.C. area. He's had a lot of players come from his area into the NBA, and now he becomes one of them. Coming out of a major program of Kentucky under John Calipari, he gets drafted by the New York Knicks. He's very familiar with Worldwide West, Kenny Payne. He's very familiar with these guys. Tom Thibodeau is familiar with him, so he's in a good situation. He works his tail off. He becomes part of the rotation in his rookie season. He starts to discover that not only can he play in the NBA, he feels like he can be a starter in the NBA. And for him personally, that means a tremendous amount of money. Now that he's in that conversation, there's 2 tiers. He's in the rotation, so you can get rotation bag or you can get starter bag. These are 2 different bags. You're probably, you can never guarantee that you're going to get this again. You see, your career could end in 4 years. Your career could end on one play. So you must secure this bag for yourself, for your family, for your future generations. Because now what you're discussing with your family is multi-generational wealth. What does that mean? That means you're making enough money in your next 4 years so that you, your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your wife, your children don't ever have to work again. So now you have to look at what's good for you. What's the best thing for you? So you're Emmanuel Quickley. And now you're like, I can start. Maybe your agent, and you have an agent, maybe your agent is coming to you and your agent is going to give you certain information. What information is your agent going to share with you? One of the reasons to have an agent is to get this type of information. What information is it? What teams are interested in you? What teams would like you to start for them? What teams would you be handed the team and the keys? You see, you know that that's not going to happen for you at the New York Knicks. Why? Because the New York Knicks made a decision to sign Jalen Brunson for 4 years, $104 million. So now you know for the next 4 years, you're not starting and you're not getting starters pay from the New York Knicks. So now your agent floats to you a number of teams, and there's got to be at least 3. I named some. I told you, San Antonio, Miami, Washington, Houston, and there may be others. But I named you some teams that his agent probably floated him and said, listen, these guys really believe in you, Emmanuel. Quick, they want to give you the keys like the Knicks gave the Brunson. So now, as much as you love the Knicks, as much as you love the organization, you have to weigh that versus the possibility of you getting $80 to $100 million over the next 4 seasons. Let's take it 80 million because I think he'll get at least that. So if you get 80 million, after taxes, that's 40 million. Over a 4-year period, that's 10 million per year. NBA players get paid over a 10-month period. That's $1 million every month. In 2 months, you would make more than you're making now in a whole year. So that's multi-generational wealth. And you have to make a decision if you're quick. What do I do? Well, what would you do? If you're Quickley, more than likely you're saying, okay, Mr. Agent, talk to him. See what my odds are. Now he puts the word out. Your agent does. Quick might be interested. He might be interested in signing an extension with you. And NBA teams know the Knicks situation. You got Jalen Brunson. He's your starter. And if you're the Knicks, you understand also we have Deuce McBride, who is on a minimum contract, and we have him locked into that contract for at least 2 more seasons, plus this season. So 3 seasons we got him locked in, and we would love to pair him with Quentin Grimes in the second unit, because that would give us a top-notch defensive second unit. Okay, so now teams are starting to call the New York Knicks and say, well, you give us 4 Emmanuel Quickley. Because everybody now knows, Leon Rose knows, Quick's agent knows, other teams know that Quick is probably going to be available. Not because the Knicks don't want him, but because he have to look out for himself and his family. So now it's about how much is Emmanuel Quickley worth to you? And that's the question Leon Rose is going to ask teams that call. We are interested in Emmanuel Quickley, Leon would say. Answer to that, that GM would say, we're interested in Emmanuel Quickley. And Leon Rose would say, how much is he worth to you? And that's what it comes down to. Do the Knicks want to keep Emmanuel Quickley? Of course they do. A starter level guy coming off your bench? Of course they do. But if you understand the business, then you know if you're Leon, he's got to take care of himself and his family first. Here he is, 22, 23 years old. He can now sign a contract that will give him multi-generational wealth. So he's got to take care of himself and his family. And you know that. And you're not going to stop him from doing that if you're Leon Rose. You got to look out for the kid. Not only for your own sake, for your own culture, but for future players that come to your team. They got to know you're going to look out for them. So Quick is like, I know Leon's going to look out for me. Yes, he is. But Leon's got to get the best possible return for his asset. His asset is Emmanuel Quickley. So he's got to get the best possible return for Emmanuel Quickley that he could get. Which is why now you're hearing they want a first-round pick. Well, that's a no-brainer. They're going to get a first-round pick. The minimum they're going to get for Quick is a first-round pick and a young talent. That's the minimum they're going to get. I think they can get more, but let's be conservative. I think they will get a first, a second, and a young talent for Emmanuel Quickley. Why do I say that? Because Emmanuel Quickley is a starter-level guard in the NBA. I don't feel like he's the perfect point guard. I don't feel like he maybe even a starter. Maybe he's best as a 6th man. But you got to give him the keys to find out. This has been done before. This situation has happened many times in the NBA. The most recent one that I remember is Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier come out of Louisville. He was on the Celtics. He was playing behind a guy that was never going to give up that starting spot in Kyrie Irving, right? Well, he's not going to play in front of Kyrie Irving. But Kyrie Irving got hurt in a year, right? So Scary Terry ended up playing most of that season. And by the time they got to the playoffs, and I think they went to the ECF, by the time they got there, they were playing high-level ball with Scary Terry. Kyrie was still on the team. So now Scary Terry is thinking, I'm a starting level NBA guard. He may not have been a point guard, but he's a guard. And he can play. And so he had 2 teams coming at him, his agent told him, the New York Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets. He thought he was going to the Knicks, but he ended up signing a $60 million bag with the Hornets, and then he got extended, I think, another 80, $90 million. And that's how this game works, friends. So now Quick is in the same situation. He is a starter, at least many teams would think so, on a team where he's stuck behind the starter. That he's not going to win the job from Brunson. He's not going to do it. Brunson came here because he got the bag. Brunson's going to be probably a Knick for at least 4 years. Well, at least, maybe 5. But he's going to play at the level you're seeing him play at right now because his game is not predicated on athleticism. It's predicated on brain, IQ, guile, slickness, whatever you want to call it, craft. And he's got a high level of skill in terms of his mid-range game, and his footwork is on the DeMar DeRozan, excellent footwork game, so that's going to keep him there for a minute. Quick knows that. Everybody knows that. So Quick's got to make a decision, and his decision is give me the bag, send me to a team where I can start, and I'm going to get an extension of at least $80 million. That's where he's going. And that's why he's going to be traded. It's not that the Knicks hate him. It's not that they're trying to get rid of him. It's not that the Knicks are being cheap. He needs to do what's best for him and his family. And that is to be an NBA starter on a team like the Wizards, on a team like the Miami Heat, on a team like the Houston Rockets, on a team like the San Antonio Spurs. That's best for Emmanuel Quickley. And that's why he's going to be traded. The question now is, when will it happen? Is it going to happen this trade deadline? Or is it going to happen off season? I was under the impression it would happen in the off season. And the reason I said that is because I feel like the Knicks have a chance, like I said, this year. People keep looking at them in a snapshot. So right now they're a 500 team and people can't see that this is an 82 game season and the team is still developing in real time. So because they can't see that, they're looking at them as a 500 team. But I think the Knicks have a chance to be 8th to 6th seed, maybe even higher. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, there is two games that separate the 4th seed from the 8th seed. 2 games. Okay. And anything could happen in the NBA. So, with that in mind, Quickley plays a major role in helping the Knicks get to as far as they can, in playoff positioning. So, I'm not sure if the Knicks would want to give that up right now, while they're, developing, because again, it's a work in progress and he's part of that development versus if you dealt him in the off season, say on draft night, you dealt Quickley and now you have a chance to have a whole summer of Deuce and Grimes working together and getting ready for the next season as a tandem. I don't know, depending on what they're being offered, they may, decide, if we like Deuce and Grimes right now, because if you watch the last couple of games, that's pretty good backcourt right there. That's a pretty good situation. So if you get Deuce and Grimes now, maybe you decide, let's play these guys in the rotation right now together and let's get them moving and let's let Quick go and do what he do. Okay. I don't know, but we're going to find out. But I think it's probably 85% Quick gets dealt for the reasons that I just outlined to you. And he's going to get his bag and he's going to become a starter somewhere. And I hope he does very well. I wish he would stay with the Knicks. He can ball, call it what you want. I mean, does he see the floor perfectly? No, he doesn't. He's not Chris Paul watching the floor. No, he's not. Does he shoot too much sometimes? Yes, he does. Sometimes a little bit too aggressive. But his defense has come a long way. He's an excellent defender on NBA level, and he flat out can ball. Okay? Say what you want. Quickley can ball. And you want dudes on your team, in your rotation, that can ball, especially if you're trying to get deep in the playoffs. Okay? Quick is that dude. So, is what it is. Okay? So again, just to review, we're not giving him away. We're not getting rid of him. He's looking for a situation that can create generational wealth for him and his family and make his career go as high and as deep as possible. Make the best thing for him. Okay? And that's what this is all about. All right? I hope you understand that. I hope it helped. And again, in the meantime, please be safe out there. Drive safely. Enjoy your family. Don't fight with them. Thanksgiving is when them holidays where families start fighting across the table. Old, sores and wounds come out, and you can get up. Be safe, be cool. Just eat your turkey and keep your mouth shut and everything be good. All right? Laugh, enjoy your football, whatever you do. Show up.